Saray Crane, we are live.
Okay, as you heard, I'm Saray Crane, the Executive Director of MERCAZ USA. And on behalf of MERCAZ USA, MERCAZ Canada, the Federation of Jewish Men's Clubs, Women's League for Conservative Judaism, and the International Kiddush Club, which is the partnership that made this event, it is my honor to welcome you to this celebration of Shushan Purim. Bruchim habaim to everyone. We who live in the diaspora are accustomed to having more days of Jewish holidays than those who live in Israel. Purim is the one instance in which Jews in Israel celebrate longer than we do. Of course they do, since Purim is the most fun of all of our holidays. We dress up in costumes, we wear masks, we hold parades and carnivals, and the tradition is to drink until we cannot tell the difference between Mordechai and Haman. This is a big holiday in Israel, a true Ganze Megillah. One of the great surprises during my year of study at the Hebrew University was that Purim was a 2-day Yom Tov. The university and the library were closed for 2 days. They were only closed 1 day for Yom Kippur. This year, Purim is even more special because of the calendar. Purim for the rest of us was 1 day. In Jerusalem this year, it's a 3-day celebration, which you will hear more about later from our experts from Jerusalem. So, since we have already read the Megillah, this evening is about the joy of Shushan Purim, which we have declared to be a Zionist Chag. We are all here to enjoy a party, complete with singing, words of Torah, enjoyment of a special cocktail created by IKC's own mixologist extraordinaire, Cantor Zachary Mondro, a man of many talents, some special guests from the conservative Masorti movement around the world, and more. We begin with the celebration of Havdalah, the separation of Shabbat, and the rest of the days of the week. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Rabbi Ellen Wallinsfields, the Executive Director of Women's League for Conservative Judaism. Rabbi Ellen.
Thank you. Shavua Tov to everybody, and it's incredible and wonderful to be biyachad together with all of our brothers and sisters, and especially I want to do a shout out to my sisters from Women's League for Conservative Judaism and our international president, Debbie Goldich. I hope that you all had the opportunity to watch the video from our convention, Heal Us Now, where our Women's League chorus sang Heal Us Now, our Zumriya women. So it's wonderful to see everybody. Shabbat brings us a time to rest, relax, and recharge our own personal batteries, ourselves. For a year now, Shabbat has been a little different for many who follow the tshuva to allow Zooming on Shabbat, and we've also needed to make sure our computers are charged. But one thing that has not changed is that we still all begin Shabbat with the light of Shabbat candles, the sweet taste of wine or grape juice for Kiddush, and the scrumptious smells of good food. And we conclude Shabbat with Havdalah, a separation ceremony with the same 3 elements, a candle, wine, and spices, besamim. The light of the twisted Havdalah candle reminds us that we are the light needed in our world. When we recite the bracha blessing for the candle, we reach out our fingernails, hoping to catch some of the radiance of the light of the Havdalah candle. The besamim, the spices, remind us to continue remembering the delicious food we ate on Shabbat and continue creating a world with fresh smells and refreshing ideas. The sweet taste of wine or grape juice reminds us that we must taste more sweetness than bitterness in this coming week. Many put the candle into the wine after drinking it and extinguish the candle that way, combining light and sweetness. And the longer the sizzle, the better the week. Let us all be the light, sweetness, and fresh ideas our world needs. I'd like to now introduce Cantor Zachary Mondro, who will be leading us in Havdalah.
Zach, you have to unmute.
Sorry about that. Let's try that one more time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam moreh peri hagafen moreh peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei vesamim borei minei vesamim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshech ben Yisrael le'amim ben yom hashvi'i le'sheshet yemei hamaseh Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lechol Shavua tov, 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 Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Shavua Tov, everybody. We'll see you in a little bit.
Record.
Hello, I'm Rabbi Diana Vila. I teach Halakha and Jewish law and Talmud at the Schechter Rabbinical Seminary. I was asked today to talk to you about Shushan Purim. As you know, Purim is on the 14th of Adar, but traditionally Jerusalem celebrates on the 15th of Adar, which is remembering that in the city of Shushan in Persia, they celebrated an extra day, and that was a city surrounded by walls, and Jerusalem is a city surrounded by walls, so it follows that custom. Normally, in Jerusalem, we would read the Megillah on the eve of the 15th and celebrate Purim on the 15th itself. But based on an interpretation of a verse in the book of Esther that says, Velo Yavor, you are not allowed to do it later, you're only allowed to advance the Purim celebrations, but you can't, especially when it comes to reading the book of Esther, but you can't do it afterwards. Then we can postpone the reading of the Megillah to the 16th of Adar. And this year, since Purim is on Shabbat, and on Shabbat you are not allowed to read the Megillah, because it was a limitation the rabbis placed so that nobody would carry it in a place where you're not allowed to carry it. So we have to advance the reading of the Megillah exactly like the rest of the world. This is a year in which we celebrate what's called in Hebrew Purim Meshulash, kind of a triple Purim. What we do is that the Megillah reading will be tonight and Thursday on the 14th of Adar, just as everywhere else in the world, and tomorrow morning instead of doing it on the 15th. And today is also the day that we observe Matanot La'Evyonim, a presents for the poor, that is giving tzedakah, charity. And then on Shabbat, which is the 15th of Adar, which is the day that we normally celebrate Purim in Jerusalem, we read a different maftir, a maftir that you read on Purim, Vayavo Amalek, about the war against Amalek, and you read the same haftorah that we read last Shabbat for Parashat Zachor, which is about the battle that King Saul had with the Amalekites, which is in the book of Samuel. And then on Sunday, we will have the Purim Seuda, the meal that we have for Purim, and Mishloach Manot Ish L'Re'eu, which means giving presents of food to your friends. So it's a very unique Purim in Jerusalem this year because we have it divided among 3 different days. Also on Shabbat we say Al Hanisim, the special prayer that is included in the Amida, in the Shmon Esrei, and in the Birkat Hamazon, in the grace after meals. So we really have to, we get an extended Purim in a certain way. And that's what makes this year so different. This happens only every few years. We won't have it again for quite a few years. So this year we will celebrate the reading of the Megillah tonight, like all the rest of the Jews all over the world. And that makes it as different kind of Purim from what we normally do in Jerusalem. Happy Purim to everyone.
Shalom, Purim Sameach. My name is Devorah Greenberg, and I'm talking to you from Yerushalayim, from the offices of the Masorti movement here. I am the head of education of the Masorti movement and the head of education of the Jewish Pluralism Watch. Now I'd like to tell you a bit about Shushan Purim. What is Shushan Purim? Well, Shushan Purim is the Purim that is celebrated only here in Yerushalayim. Where does this custom come from? Well, when we celebrated Purim, we celebrated because the Jews in Shushan and in Paras were fighting till the 13th of Adar, and they rested. They were celebrating their victory on the 14th of Adar. But in Shushan Purim, the capital of Paras, the fighting continued also on the 13th of Adar and also on the 14th of Adar. And they rested and celebrated the victory on the 15th of Adar. And since that day until today, there's a custom that in a city that is surrounded by a wall, mukefet choma, you celebrate the same day that they celebrated in Shushan Purim. Now, which city is a city that is surrounded by a wall? There's actually many cities that are surrounded by walls. Why only Jerusalem is the one that celebrates the same day like Shushan? Well, they chose to celebrate a city that had a wall, not during the days of Achashverosh, not today, but when Yehoshua ben Nun came into Israel during the Israelites' era. That is the day, that's the period where we determine when we celebrate Purim surrounded by a wall, Ir Mukefet Choma. And the only city that we know today for sure that had a wall around its city was Yerushalayim. So Yerushalayim celebrates like Shushan Purim. And it's actually sort of a tribute that the rabbis had to Yerushalayim, because they could have just celebrated by the way it was in Paras, but they wanted to give a tribute to Yerushalayim, to say, we're in the Gola, and Eretz Yisrael is Chareva, the land of Israel is destroyed, and there's no Jews there anymore. But we want to give a tribute, and we have this wish to return to Eretz Yisrael and to return to Jerusalem, and therefore we're going to celebrate as in Shushan Purim like Jerusalem back in the days of Yehoshua. I have to say, there's a very famous, I want to tell you a bit about the customs that we have here in Jerusalem, because it means that we get to celebrate longer than other areas in the world and even in Israel. If someone really likes Purim, there's a trick that you can do. You can go to Tel Aviv on the 14th of Purim and celebrate with the Tel Avivians, and then you can travel up to Jerusalem on the 15th and celebrate again, and then you have 2 days Purim a year. If you know this song, the famous children's song of Levin Kipnis, why Purim comes only once a year? Well, for us Jerusalemites, we say it comes once a year, but sometimes it can come twice a week in Jerusalem and in the rest of the country. And if you really liked Purim, we'll celebrate it twice a week and not just once. One of my favorite things to do in Purim, and unfortunately this year during Corona we're not able, is really to go downtown to the Shuk and to Nachlaot. And there's many street carnivals where really all of the people of Jerusalem come out dressed. And you actually don't know who's Haredi and who's religious and who's secular, because everyone is dressed up. And sometimes the secular are dressed as Haredi, and Haredi are dressed up as soldiers, and the soldiers are dressed up as women, and the women are dressed up as men. And there's this big na'afochu that you can't really say this person is from that neighborhood and that person believes in this. And we come out to the streets of Jerusalem, and it's really a ad de lo yada, a carnival of celebrating being here in Yerushalayim, celebrating the victory of the Jews thousands of years ago, but also celebrating the victories that we have today, the things that we want to appreciate in our lives, the happiness that we can hold. And I wish you all a happy Purim here from Yerushalayim. And if you want, and it is a minhag, you're welcome to celebrate also on this Sunday in honor of Jerusalem and in sympathy with us, celebrating 3 days of Purim. Chag Sameach.
Okay, we are back. Thank you for our videos from Israel. We very much appreciate you. Since we are doing a cocktail for the IK on behalf of the IKC, I have to put on my official hat. So tonight we are doing Mordechai's Sweet Revenge. It is actually based off of a strawberry lemon mojito recipe, but it is the perfect cocktail for a Haman-led horse ride through the streets of Shushan. What I really love about this cocktail is it's really a universal recipe. It can be used with pretty much any base liqueur, any sweetener. You can mix and you can match, and you can really concoct anything, and the ingredients for the most part just don't change. I'm going to do 2 quick demonstrations for you, one as written, and then I'll show you how we can kind of use something different and still kind of keep the ingredients the same but create a different drink altogether. So we start with our base. Actually, on this recipe we start with the muddling. I'm sorry. So you take a couple of lemons. Here, let me go to the other camera. There we go. We're going to take a couple of lemons, a couple of strawberries. I give you exact proportions in the recipe, but feel free to kind of fudge it, as my grandmother used to say, a shitterein, and some mint. Fresh mint is much preferred over dried mint. And you would do a process we call muddling, and that is basically using a piece to crush them together. And there's actually a tool called a muddler, but if you don't have a muddler, I find a wooden spoon works very, very well. And the trick is to really get some muscle in there and really get things crushed up, get that lemon and that mint really activated. You're activating all those essential oils in the mint. You're grinding up the strawberry into a pulp, and you're activating those oils and the juice inside the lemon. So after we get that going, then we can add some of our ice, which I have in my second shaker. We add our base liquor, in this case, 2 ounces of gin. Pretty much any gin would go. I would stay away, though, from your stronger gins like Hendrick's. Stick with the lighter, your lighter gins in general. Our lemon juice. And our sweetener, in this case, some simple syrup, which is a mixture of sugar and water. And we drop those into our shaker and give them a nice shake. Don't be afraid to shake when you're shaking your shaker. You really want to get everything all combined together. And don't be afraid to give it a good long shake either, because you're really getting everything all kind of mixed up and all those flavors really mixed together. Now, often when you shake a cocktail, you want to you're going to strain it, but when you strain a cocktail that has ice, you do not use the same ice you strain the drink with, because it's already been melted and diluted. So you have a glass prepared with fresh ice, and you just pour this on top. And that is our basic gin base with a little garnish. Now, if you wanted to change it up a little bit, we can use some whiskey. And you can feel free to use any type of citrus in this recipe. You can mix and you can match, as I said before. I'm going to stick with the lemon and the strawberry just for ease today. So some lemon, some strawberry, and you can mix and match your berries as well too, and some mint. And again, we're just going to get that all muddled together. Whoop, I think I just lost a lemon. The casualties of muddling. And there it goes again. It's not cooperating today. Okay, once you get that all muddled together, we are going to add our base liquor again. So in this case, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to use 2 ounces of whiskey, bourbon in this case. About a half an ounce to 3/4 of an ounce of dark maple syrup. And that acid again, so I'm going to stick with the lemon juice. Okay, give that a shake. And now, after this is done, we will have virtually the same cocktail recipe. All that I have changed is the sweetener and the base liquor, but you have a totally different expression. Come on. Well, it's not going to work with me today. There we go. Again, over fresh ice. And that's how you can make 2 different cocktails with the same recipe. I hope you enjoy. It's one of my personal favorites. And Chag Purim Sameach.
Shavua Tov. I'm Rabbi Jennifer Gorman, Executive Director of MERCAZ Canada. The tradition of wearing masks and costumes on Purim likely began in Italy with Carnival. The merrymaking and costume wearing before Lent coincided with Purim and fit the nature of the holiday. Tradition teaches us that we dress in costume and we wear masks on Purim to highlight the hidden aspects of Megillat Esther. The fact that God never appears in the book and plays no overt role, and Esther hides her Jewish identity, and her name itself means hidden. The story is, of course, as we know, a farcical tale of things being hidden and revealed. Vashti refuses to appear in public. The king hides behind his advisor's decisions. Mordechai appears in public, but hides his connection to Esther, and a plot hidden by Bigtan and Teresh against Achashverosh is uncovered, resulting in dressing Mordechai in royal clothing and having him ride the king's horse. And of course, we all know that Haman's big plot is part of the big reveal with Esther's true identity. We think that we're hidden behind masks, but costumes and masks can be quite freeing and give us strength. Chapter 5 of Megillat Esther begins, Vayehi b'yom hashlishi, on the 3rd day, Vatilbash Esther malchut, Vatamod b'chatzar beit hamelech. On the 3rd day, Esther put on royal apparel and stood in the courtyard of the king's palace. Vatilbash Esther malchut. Esther doesn't just put on royal clothing, she puts on royalty. She becomes Queen Esther. Not just Esther anymore. Our masks can free us. They can give us confidence. They are the roles we play every day and the roles that we want to play. Purim lets us choose those roles, if only for a little while, whether we're Esther or Vashti, whether we're Mordechai or Haman, whether we're a fairy or a pirate. Our masks can be powerful statements or just a fun escape for a little while. Purim Sameach.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stan Greenspan, and I happen to be the president of MERCAZ Canada, as well as one of the founding members of the International Kiddush Club, a secret organization which is best known for its celebrations of everything, including Purim. So on Friday nights every week for the last 6-8 months now, we've done a Friday afternoon Kabbalat Shabbat. We invite you all to it, and we've tried to go around the world with it. And we have continued that with this celebration this evening. We have got video presentations from Australia, from Uganda, from Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Colombia, and of course, Canada and the United States. It's very interesting what people have sent us. We've got a lot of good stuff, and I must ask you please to keep care and watch the Ugandan one, because while we don't think of it, our brothers and sisters in Uganda went through their own Haman in the 1970s, which we don't think about. And I'm glad they brought it up today. Wonderful presentations from all these groups. Enjoy them, enjoy everything. Thank you from all of us for being here this evening. And I hope you have enjoyed this evening so far and continue to do so.
Shalom, Purim Sameach from Australia.
Shalom, Purim Sameach to all.
I'm so happy to be here with President of Kilat Nitzan, President Zinger the Clown.
Whoa, and I am delighted to be here with the Rabbi of Kilat Nitzan, Rabbi Dionysus.
Oh, how wonderful, late son. Late son, katan nechmad, roket
still kind.
Ulai, you'll tell me a Purim joke.
Oh, what a good idea. I've got a good one for you, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Rabbi, what was Queen Esther's gown made of?
Queen Esther's gown. What was Queen Esther's gown made of?
Polyester.
Ba-dum-bum.
So we're going to sing a little bit. What's a Purim party with a couple of songs? We'll start right at the top of the sheet and go on our way down. Mishem, 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 Mishech Nasadar. Mishem, 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 Mishech Nasadar. Mishem Nachnas Adar Marbim Lesimcha. Mishech Nachas Adar Marbim Lesimcha. International Kiddush Club is the best. Purim, Purim is here. Purim, men's clubs are here. Purim is here. Purim, men's clubs are here. FJMC in a global pandemic convention has to move online. FJMC, we won't have to stop us. Join us in June for an amazing time. Purim is here. Purim, men's clubs are here. Purim is here. Purim, men's clubs are here. If you hadn't had a chance to get the Purim song sheet, You may do that now. I believe somebody was kind enough to put it in the chat. There's also the tiny URL on your screen at the moment. So to be completely honest, there are a couple of songs on this sheet I don't know. Number 2 is one of them, and the one the Australians sang is number 5. I didn't know that one either. So, but we'll go to Chag Purim. Chag Purim, Chag Purim, Chag Gadol HaYehudim, Masechot, Pashanim, Zemot VeYekudim, Havana Shira, Rash, 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 Havana Shira, Rash, 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 Havana Shira, Rash, Rash, Rash. Barashanim, Chag Purim, Chag Purim, Chag Gadol HaYehudim, Masechot, Rashanim, Zemot VeYekudim, Havana Shira, Rash, 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 Havana Shira, Rash, 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 Havana Shira, Rash, 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 Barashanim.
Shalom from Argentina. We are happy to partner with the FJMC and MERCAZ for this special Purim night. In the next few minutes, you will experience the Latin American flavor and the crucial role the Seminario has strengthened in Judaism in the region and the movement worldwide. Beit Asaf Cantorial Institute alumni will sing Sukim from the Megillah using traditional local tunes. We hope you'll enjoy it. Chag Purim Sameach.
איש יהודי היה בשושן הבירה, בשושן הבירה, ושמו מרדכי בן יאיר בן שמעי בן קיש יש ימיני.
תילקח אסתר אל מלך אחשוורוש והתמלכותו בחודש העשירי וחודש טבת בשנת 7 למלכותו ותילקח אסתר אל מלך אחשוורוש בהתמלכותו ויהב המלך את אסתר מכל האנשים ותשחם בחסד לפניו מכל הבתולות. מה ישם כתר מלכות בראשה וימלכיה תחת בשתי. מה יאהב המלך את אסתר מכל האנשים.
ויאמר המלך לי אמר מאחר, קח את הליבוש ואת הסוס. כאשר דיברת וזכר למרדכי היהודי, היושב ושער המלך, אל תבן דבר מכל אשר דיברת. ויקח בד את הלבוש ואת הסוס, וילבש את מרדכי ויקיבך ברחוב העיר. ויקרא לפניו, ככה יעשה לאיש שהמלך חפץ ביקרו. וישב מרדכי אל שער המלך, והמן ירחב אל ביתו, אבל וחפוי ראש.
שלום לכל זרו, דרוש טוב לעמו, ודובר שלום לכל זרו, דרוש טוב לעמו, ודובר שלום לכל זרו, דרוש טוב לעמו, ודובר שלום לכל זרו.
There we go. So moving right on down. Always a favorite one in the preschool. La Kova Shali. We'll do this a couple of times, and as we move through the song, we kind of remove words. So it's a little bit like the Israeli bingo. La kova shali shalosh pinot la kova shali lo hayu lo shalosh pinot lo hayaze hakova shali. Good. So now we're going to take out the word kova and we're just going to replace it with La shali shalosh pinot la shali lo hayu lo shalosh pinot lo hayazeha shali. How'd you do? Good. Now we're going to take out the words kova and pinot. La kova shali. I already screwed it up. La shali shalosh shalosh la shali lo hayu lo shalosh lo hayaze shali. See, it's a little trickier than it looks. One more. So now we're going to take out kova, pinot, and shalosh. La, Shelley, Kova, Shelley. All right, so I took out a few more there, but hey, it's all in good fun.
From Uganda, Synagogue Synagogue.
Ahron from Kehilat Kasuku Jewish community in Kenya.
Purim, Purim, Purim. It's celebrated on the 14th day of Adar.
It is the most festival that have fun celebrated in the whole world.
Wow. It's when we remember Esther
Saving the Jewish people by
eliminating the idea of Haman that was evil being made to eliminate the Jewish people from the entire city of Susa.
This plan was brought by Mordechai.
Mordechai was a cousin brother of Esther. Wow. You get this? Also, we bring this to Uganda. In Uganda, during the year of 1970 to 1979, there was a man called Idi Amin Dada who never wanted Judaism practiced in Uganda. Salvation all came. God brought salvation. For the 10 years, we didn't have celebration for Pesach. We didn't celebrate Purim. And now, God brought salvation in 1979. The dictatorial regime went, that was led by Idi Amin Dada. With that, we got chance to sing Hine Mato. Hine, hine, hine mato, humanai, shevetahim, gamyaha, lava, lava, daba wekulyo kulunji, wekusanyusa, abuluganda okutura, kitu kizuri sana kinapendeza, wadada na wadugu wakiwa pamoja, hine 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 mato umanai shevetahim gamyaha hag purim samea.
So let's go a little bit off book. I won't do anything too obscure, but there is one American favorite. I do believe that has been left off this sheet. Most of us only know one verse, so that's all we'll do, but still fun nonetheless. Where'd my words go? There we go. Oh, once there was a wicked, wicked man. Oh, once there was a wicked, wicked man, and Haman was his name, sir. He robbed and murdered all the Jews, though they were not to blame, sir. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be, and Nasham Hamintashin. Oh, once there was a wicked, wicked man, and Haman was his name, sir. He tried to kill all the Jews, but they were not to blame, sir. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be, and Nasham Hamintashin.
Speak? No, I don't think.
You're on, Alan.
Oh, on behalf of the Federation of Jewish Men's Club, Purim Sameach. And thank you for joining us.
Chag Sameach, everybody, and welcome to my Women's League sisters.
Chag Sameach from MERCAZ Canada, MERCAZ USA, and all of us. Purim Sameach to everyone.
Chag Sameach, the MERCAZ USA.
Okay, we want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Hope that everyone has enjoyed joining MERCAZ and Women's League and Men's Club and IKC for this Purim celebration this evening. No idea why my camera is not working. And that everyone enjoyed the Mordechai's Revenge. And we hope that you will come back and join us for further programs for everybody with Women's League, with MERCAZ, and with Men's Club. Have a great night. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov, everybody.
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.